For lesson 105, we're going to be using proportions to solve percent problems. So the question is 30% of cars in the parade are antique cars. If 12 vehicles are antique cars, how many vehicles are there in the parade in all? So this we're going to set this up just like we did our ratios a few lessons ago. So I have cars, and I have antique cars, and I have all the other cars. So I'm going to put my antiques are A, and then not antiques, I'm just going to put NA. So remember, we should always know the percent, the total, because no matter what we have to have 100% total. So that number is always going to be 100. Okay? It does tell us that 30% are antique cars, so I can write that 30 in there. And because I know the 30% of antiques and the 100% total, I can subtract and find how many are not antiques, which is 70%. Okay? They also told us that 12 vehicles are antique cars. So I know how many are antique cars, and they want to know the total. How many total cars were there? So if you look at this, I don't know how many non-antique cars are, so I don't really need this column. So what I can do is set up a proportion. So I have 30 is to 100 as 12 is to what? Okay. Now, to go with 30 to 12 is kind of difficult. So 1, I can cross multiply. 2, the other thing I can do is reduce this ratio, and that might make my life easier. Because if you notice, I can take both those numbers divided by 10, I should get 3/10 is going to equal 12 over x. Now I can multiply by 4, so that x is going to be 40 vehicles or cars. Okay, it says how many vehicles, so I should label vehicles. Okay. So all I did was I reduced my percents before I set up my ratio. I could have cross multiplied, so I had 30x is going to be equal to 12,000 or 1,200, sorry, and cross multiply, divide. If I can reduce, I'm going to reduce my ratio first, get my numbers smaller, make it easier on myself. So next question says only 40% of the team members played in the game. If 24 team members did not play, how many did? So we have they did play, they did not play, and we have our total. So remember, percent for total is 100. It says 40% did play, which means 60% did not play. It says 24 team members did not play. How many did? So in this case, I don't need my total. The only thing I needed it for was to figure out how many or what percent did not play. Now I can set my proportion. Okay? Before I even set this up this time, I'm going to see that 40 and 60 can get reduced to 4/6. I could reduce it farther if I wanted to, but I'm just going to cancel out those zeros, okay? Because that's just like dividing by 10. And then that 4 is a 6 is x is 24. So you multiply by 4 here. So that x is going to be 16. So how many team members did play? 16 members or team members. And I can solve it like that. Once again, we can cross multiply if we need to. A little more difficult of a problem here. It says buying the shoes on sale, Nathan paid $45.60, which was 60% of the full price. What was the full price of the shoes? Okay, so our total is kind of going to be like our full price. So for the top box, we're going to write how much we paid. Middle box is going to be what we saved, and the bottom is going to be our full price. So you paid $45.60. So that's going to go in our actual count. Okay, and that was 60% of the full price. Okay. So he paid 60%. Full price is 100, so we saved 40%. Okay, process of elimination. They want to know what the full price of the shoes is. So we don't even need to worry about the save column here. Okay. So once again, I'm going to reduce this right away because I can get rid of those 10. So I have 6/10 is going to equal 45/60 is to what? If I didn't reduce first, I'd still get the same number. I like smaller numbers. Okay? So here I need to cross multiply, so I have 6x is going to equal, I have $45.60 times 10. Remember, when we multiply by 10, we can just move the decimal point over 1. Okay? So this should be 456.0. I'm going to drop that 0. Okay? So I cross multiply, now I divide. 6 goes into 45 7 times. So then I get 36, 6 times. Okay, so full price was $76. So I set my proportion, cross multiplied, and divided. Okay. Just remember, if you can reduce your percent ratio first and get some smaller numbers, it makes life a lot easier as we move along in the problem. Because let's face it, we like smaller numbers, they're easier to work with. Okay? Remember, if we multiply by 10, we can move the decimal 1 to the right. If we were dividing by 10, we can move 1 to the left. 100, 2, either way, whatever. Okay? Some things to remember, kind of putting things together. So, go ahead, do the practice set. Remember, it will help to draw this box. So, copy the box, fill in the blanks, go ahead and solve those problems. Remember, if you have any questions, bring them to class.